Don't Look Up 2021. So it's about two astronomers, Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, also starring Meryl Streep. Two astronomers must go to on a giant media tour to warn mankind of an approaching comet that will destroy planet Earth. Excuse me, Omicron.
Mhm.
Anyway, just kidding.
Who's that
And
director of this film, Rob?
this was directed by, yeah, thank you for bringing that up, Adam McKay. For those of you who don't know who Adam McKay is, he's the man who brought you Step Brothers. He's the man who brought you Vice, The Other Guys, The Big Short. He's done quite a
Anchorman.
bit. Anchorman. He's done quite a bit of things. This man has been kind of a cornerstone now of films for quite a long time. Worked with John C. Riley and Will Ferrell quite a bit.
Pharaoh. Yeah.
And it was also written by Adam McKay and David Sororita. Give me just a sec here. Well, the thing I loved about this film, and I'm just going to kind of kick it off, Steve, um, was
Mhm.
that this film was a lot different than Adam McKay's other um, works that he's done. Because he helped write The Campaign with Will Ferrell.
Yep.
The Campaign, as we have said, is one of the best parody films, I would say, along with The Death of Stalin, that has ever come around when it comes to the real world parody that we live in. Because this was a film I thought, because it's great. So I'm going to go ahead and give you some spoilers, my audience. So Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence are trying desperately to basically make people just accept the facts that are going on. That there's people don't even believe that
Right.
this comet is coming. You already hear me. This comet is even
Yeah.
coming to Earth. Because the whole
Right.
premise is like, they try to go on news shows, and these news shows are like trying to make it a fluff piece and try to lie to the American people. The president is like Donald Trump. She's only worried about, you know, poll numbers. And then
Image.
you had Jonah Hill, who is obviously like Don Jr. I'm not even gonna beat around the bush like CNN. I'm telling CNN, no, that's what it was. And CNN actually attacked this film, and this is what we're getting at with some of the controversy of it, is because they said
Right.
it was kind of insensitive towards Republicans and Trump voters. I'm sorry, but this is the fucking world we live in right now. This is the fucking joke. And that's why I loved it. That's why I
Right.
thought this film, because more importantly, it's not just about a comet. It's more about climate change and about how, you know, we
Yeah.
know
I
it's coming.
mean,
We know it's coming from far away, but no one wants to do anything about it. And there's a great speech by Leonardo DiCaprio in the film where he says, that they're like, people don't even believe that there is a comet. Is there a comet? And he's like, yeah, there's a comet. He's like, you know why? Because some of the smartest people in the world and all the biggest scientists have ran the numbers, and yeah, it's here. And he's like, what more do you want? He's like, we took a fucking photograph of it. He's like, and if you still think a comet hitting the planet is not a fucking good thing, then what the fuck happened to us? And it's true. Another film I would actually kind of compare this movie to is Idiocracy, but more raw.
yeah.
Idiocracy is so over the top that people are like, this is stupid. This film, and the reason I enjoyed it, because The Campaign was a parody, but it was still in the realm of,
It was.
okay, this is a comedy. This film
Yeah.
is almost like, holy shit, this isn't even like a joke. This is really how we treat these situations here. And I
Yeah. It's like it's a joke, but not a.
I think it offended people. And I hate to say it, as a movie critic, I'm glad it offended you. I'm glad, because that's what movies should do. And for the people that want to like complain and whine and say, "Oh, I'm good." The fact that they had those, the Republicans, the right wingers out there saying, don't look up," is exactly what's going on with the vaccine. Is exactly
To the
what's going
very
on.
end, by the way, Rob. To the very end, they were saying that.
That's what I'm saying, and that's why I liked this film, Steve. I liked it a lot because I thought it was not only it transcended Adam McKay's work in a big way. It transcended his comedy. Before he was just known as being the guy who could give you Step Brothers, give you the slapstick comedy,
Yeah.
weed and everything like that. This film, to me, was so raw and to the point of where it was almost not funny because of how real it was.
Right. And yeah, Rob. Like.
Like a
All
thing.
right. I don't know if you want to hear my take
Okay,
on
go
this.
ahead.
Because you gave great points and I agree with you. And when I was watching this, I had in my back of my head like what scenes, each scene, I was like, how did Rob take this scene? How did Rob take this scene? Because I know how I'm taking this. And all of the scenes that you are saying is exactly the scenes. I was like, I know Rob liked that scene. Oh, I know when this man said this, I know he liked it. So the whole concept about how I love Leonardo DiCaprio's character. He was just basically a real person.
He was annoying.
Like,
he was annoying.
yeah. So like, you know, it was so crazy. Like when they first find it out, him and Jennifer Lawrence, they're like fidgeting. They're like almost on the verge of basically mental collapse, especially Jennifer Lawrence, who just, I love her character because she is just I'm not going to control myself every time she was on media. She was just like, yeah, she's basically real sharks. We'd be like, we're not gonna, because they were like, oh, you know, they had like a parody, spoilers, we're gonna spoil this. Oh, she needs media training, right? And she's like, and they're like, what is media training? We're gonna go out there and be like, there is a fucking comet coming to kill us all. We're all gonna die, basically, right? And people just are just like, oh, that's kind of crazy. These podcast guys have, you know, said the, you know, but the thing is, like, people were, like I was explaining to Rob, like, there was a dude, like, he's like an Alex Jones guy. I don't know if you noticed.
Yes.
At the end, he's like, urgent care centers are going topless as the, like, thing is destroying his center. Like, did you see that? Like, all the news feeds are, like, you can see the green screen when this guy's, like, still presenting because he, like, knows nothing else. Like, what am I going to do? Like, I can't go back to see my family. I'm going to do this. This guy's doing that.
I thought it was, and the ending is not. The ending is tragic.
Yeah, dude. Because like, how would it go, dude? If there's a comet literally hitting us within the next hour, what would you do? Like, what? There's nothing you could do to stop it. Like, you're just gonna do whatever you want. Would you like the There's it's basically the Michael Strahan and Kelly Ripa like talk show couple. They were like sitting in a bar, Rob. I don't know if you saw that scene. And he's like, oh, what did you want to do? He's like, we can go kill or loot or have sex. What do you want to do? Like, literally, we could do whatever. Like, it doesn't even matter anymore. And she was just like, oh, I'd just rather just drink and talk shit about people. You know? Like, dude, that's probably the most realist line because that's probably what a lot of people would be doing, considering they make their living online doing that anyways. What else were they going to be doing? They're trapped at home. You know what I mean? So it's very cool. Very, you know what? This movie had Adam McKay did something that a lot of films are very scared to do, which is kill everyone
and change the style.
Pull the trigger and do it because they got like seriously. I had very big problems with the tone of the film. That was my biggest thing. Like Rob said, I didn't know if I was supposed to laugh, like with Jonah Hill.
I was laughing the whole time. I was laughing the whole time because I was like, "This is exactly what's happening now."
Dude, did you notice Meryl Streep's like Oval Office? She had pictures of like Andrew Jackson and Richard Nixon,
right,
up there. I was just like, wait, what is going on? And then like all the way towards the end, again, spoilers, where you see them all having like dinner, which I feel like, I don't know, dude. Like if if this happened, yeah, man, I would find you and be like, I mean, this is it, Rob.
You know,
like,
last meal,
yeah, you want to go have something to eat, dude, and you know what I mean, and hang around with the family, because like that's how I felt like that's what would happen. Like I would just be.
It was
like,
brutal,
all right, man.
It was
dude,
vast
that was
brutal.
Real, because as the house is shaking, nobody addresses it. They're just like small talk towards the end, like, oh hey, how's this coffee? And they're like freaking out, and you can see like Leonardo DiCaprio like holding his son, you know, and like making eye contact, not saying anything. I was like, this is like, sad.
But it was sad too because they also showed like life on Earth. They showed like animals and stuff like that. And you know, to me, and I'm gonna make this point, and I'm not gonna be too heartfelt on it, but I'll just say this to you, my audience. I'm a person that believes this in this kind of stuff too, and the fact that we are the only fucking planet with life that we know of in the universe, and all we know how to do is kill it and kill each other, is insanely fucking sad. And what does that say about us? And I think that film, Don't Look Up, presents that in a very, very real, raw way.
Yeah,
because
the rawest way you could do.
there's been other films that have attempted this, like Seeking a Friend at the End of the World. It's starring Steve Carell. I thought
Yeah,
it wasn't as powerful. Like it was a comedy, but it wasn't anything like this. Another film that's very, very,
powerful.
very serious, very powerful film is 444, The Last Day on Earth with William Dafoe. That's a very powerful film about the end of the world. I mean, that film can drive a lot of people to cry because it's about some real, real, real shit. More raw than this movie, but this film was like right where I needed to be. I mean, and I was even talking in a discussion with a friend about how, you know, I'm glad this film offended because the film's like, I'm gonna keep bringing it up, like the Joker didn't offend people or shock people
Mm.
enough, which to me, as I said in an article, is shocking that it didn't shock you. But this film, I'm glad it's making some controversy because it needs to be said. It needs to be
It needs
said.
to be. Yeah.
Yeah. But did you watch all the way past the credits when Jonah Hill comes out? He's like,
Oh,
still alive, still
Last
alive.
Man on Earth. But Rob, like again, even that, like I appreciated the film at the end because if there was somebody like him alive, they would be doing that. They would still be like the reality of the world is gone. I'm the only person left alive. There's no reason for me to
Down
be like, "What's
streaming.
up, man?
Right,
Last man alive. Like and subscribe." Who's liking and subscribing? You know what
right.
I mean? You. And then I don't know if you saw the post credits, but if you watch the credits all the way towards the end, did you see that?
Yeah.
Where there's like the dude who's supposed to be like the Steve Jobs character type of dude. He comes back like millions of years later or something like
Yeah.
that with the president of the United States, and they're like, "Oh, let's repopulate the Earth again." And you can see like all these alien creatures on Earth
Yeah,
and all
that
that.
part they're like, "Yeah, this is gonna." They're all old and naked. First of
All
all,
the
I thought a better joke they should have put in there besides the alien, like the aliens eating them was funny, but they should have made a point because it was all the old rich fucking Baron, and I was like, I literally thought a good joke should have been like, "Well, let's repopulate the Earth. How? We're all like in our 70s and 80s, and we're
that's
rich fuckers." And you know what I'm saying? It's like, what are we gonna
not, I
do?
like, dude, there's not a lot of women there. There's like the president and then like maybe one other girl. Like,
And she got
uh,
viciously.
it's got eaten. Yeah.
But last thing before we go, what do you think about it offending, like CNN going after this film and saying it was too offensive to people and it hurt people's fifis?
You know what's funny about that, bro? We're already in it.
You don't give a shit.
Yeah, bro, I don't care, bro. Like, we're not with any media. Fuck you guys. But like, the thing is, bro, like, how does CNN get like upset, but like Fox and CBS didn't? Like, I haven't heard anything from Fox when they want to be the ones that would be freaking out. It's just so funny, bro. Like they're basically proving the point of the film. Like that's why I love them getting offended because Rob is completely right. Anybody getting offended by this film is just proving the film's morality right. Like
Yeah,
you shouldn't take this thing seriously,
it's if
but you
it's a
should take life seriously.
right. But what's funny and why I think people are offended by it is because I always say this: is it reflecting something back at you that you don't like? Is it
Right.
showing something you that you don't like? I mean, why are you offended by it? Is it because it's touching something that's real? Your ignorance, maybe?
Right? Maybe because like the whole thing about Leonardo
Don't
DiCaprio,
look
he
up.
was basically
Don't look
disappeared.
up. Right.
Yeah.
And they represented the science community perfectly. We've said this on another podcast show that we used to have. Scientists will never say it's 100%. They even say that in the
Even
film,
say
and
that,
they take advantage of it. He's like, "Oh, so you're saying that there's still, it's there's still a percent."
yeah.
And it's
And then
just,
they turn it back on him. You didn't say it was 100%. He's just like, what are
right,
you talking about? Yeah,
right.
man. So it's funny that, oh man, again, Rob, I think now that you're turning me towards liking this film, God dang it, man. I was all like, I don't
I
like
just
it.
thought it was too real. But I
Yeah.
actually thought, and here was my criticism I thought you were going to have, because when you said we're going to have a debate about it, I was like, oh, really? Steve didn't like it. The thing I thought you were going to say, um, what I thought your criticism was going to be, because I was going to actually say, Steve, don't be cynical, because I already know what you're going to say. But apparently you didn't say that. But I really thought you were going to come out and say you're preaching to the choir. That's why I didn't like this film. It's because you're preaching to the very people this film is making fun of. It's like saying we're the voice of the people, making fun of the people, and we expect the people to get it.
Right. Yeah, I kind of felt that. Like in the beginning when they introduced the president, like the whole thing I was saying about Nixon on the wall, like I felt like he was like giving an inside joke to us. I'm like, why are you talking to me? You should be talking to them. You know what I
Right.
mean? In the end. And I had a problem. The things I had problems with is the things you were liking about it, Rob, like the on the nose button. But I understand why he had to do it. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because it's not towards me. Like you have to kind of hit somebody over the head with a hammer to get the point. So the whole, like you said, Rob, like don't look up, and then Chris Evans' character, who's the movie star, who's like, I have a pin that's up and down, like
Right.
and it's like debating whether or not you want to die or not. It's like, dude, there's a comet that's going to kill you. There's no debating that. You know what I mean?
What's
So
funny is I've made this joke on air before about
yes,
if there was a
yes,
fucking comet coming towards the Earth, half the United States would debate on whether it was fucking real, and the other half would say it was too expensive to fucking try and stop it.
and there's an also real point of real thing that happened where there's like this one dude who like accidentally looks up and he's like, "What is that?" Right? And they all look up and
It's
he's
like,
like,
you
"What
fucking
to
lied
us?"
to us.
But what's happening now in politics now, Rob?
That's what
Some
I'm saying.
former president is getting turned on. You know what I mean? So I feel like he nailed it, bro. Like he nailed it all the way up to
He had the
recently.
finger on the pulse of the butt, and let me tell you, my audience, it was good.
But I must ask, Rob. I gotta ask you this question for the audience. What is the real Sharks doing, man? If the comet's got like 30 minutes to hit Earth?
Podcasting about movies, about how this is just like Armageddon, but not cool. Like I'd be like, hopefully Ben Affleck and and Bruce Willis are up there and riding their space shuttles right now, saving the Earth. No, I
Because I
don't
don't know
know.
if you saw, but Rob, I thought you were going to be a part of the orgy. Did you see that on top of that high top?
I'd probably be doing something along the lines of that. I don't know. That's such a hard thing because I'd probably be doing the dinner thing, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because I actually a little personal here. I had someone we were watching another end of the world film, and I asked somebody. I said, "What do you think I'd be doing at the end of the world?" And they said, I think you'd be sitting there meditating and praying." And I was like, "Yeah, that's probably what I would be doing."
Yeah.
I said, "I'd be
Yeah.
waiting for that shit, just like, yep, just in meditation."